Hey everyone, Red Rebel Jeff Jones here, and in this video I want to talk about something I think is kind of being discouraged these days, and that is for people to have the capability of being dangerous. Not for them to necessarily be violent, but just be capable of it. Now before I get into it, please like and share this video to give it a boost. It's become quite clear over the last few years that it is very important for people to have the capability of being dangerous. If you're incapable of violence, then not being violent isn't a good thing. It's not a virtue. The only way for it to be a virtue is that you have the capability of it, but you temper that with discipline and self-control. There's been quite a few people, especially on the left, who've been trying to turn not being able to be dangerous or not being able to be violent as a virtue, which it isn't. It just makes you kind of useless and pathetic, really. And this is actually what's actually meant by the statement of the meek shall inherit the earth. And this is something Jordan Peterson has talked about, by the way, because he's talked not pretty much about with that phrase that the meek, the term the meek, isn't actually translated that well. That's more like someone who has the capability to be dangerous, who has a weapon, knows how to use it, but keeps it in the holder that it's in. With a sword it'll be the sheath that it's in, or with a gun a holster. That if they have the capability to use those weapons, the less they'll actually need to use those weapons. And those are the people that will inherit the earth. That's really what that statement is trying to say. Now, the way it's translated means it's very hard for people to grasp that understanding of it. But I think it's a real strong understanding. Now, this is something that I struggled with, and it took me a while to properly understand this idea. You see, years ago, I had an anger issue. I would lash out. And in that case, I was capable of being dangerous. And I was dangerous, but the issue was I didn't have any of the discipline or the self-control that I needed to make it a good thing. When I was lashing out, it was a bad thing. And I would lash out to the point where it would scare me. I was actually really afraid that I'd hurt someone. And I initially responded in the wrong way, definitely. I responded by becoming less dangerous and much more agreeable. And even to this day, that agreeableness side of it is still has an impact. In a lot of situations, I'd avoid standing up for myself. And even today, that's still an issue. Not as much of an issue as it used to be, but it's still an issue. Even if I was in a situation where I really, really needed to stand up for myself, I wouldn't. I became terrified of conflict. And that actually was a bad thing as well. So I started to put a lot of work in. not just in becoming dangerous again and becoming less agreeable, but also to have the discipline, the self-control, the knowledge and the wisdom that I needed to channel that in a healthy way. And even I've noticed that as I've become more disciplined in my danger, in my ability, my capability of being violent, the less I've needed to use it. And that's actually what's really, really fascinating about it, because you need to be dangerous in order to be useful to not just yourself, not just to your family, your friends, but to society. I now understand that need for the capability to be dangerous. So what do you guys think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and do not forget to subscribe to keep up with my latest videos. Now, sorry for not posting for a while. I've missed the last 10 days, more than that actually, because I've been really, really busy with a lot of stuff, not just personally, but also with the channel. And I'm actually organising a really, really big project for the channel, and it's taking up a lot of time. I'll give you guys more information and updates about that when I can. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of work into that. I think it's interesting, the conversation around the need, for the capability to be dangerous. And I think it's one that needs to be had for everyone. Because unless you have that capability, you can't be useful to yourself, to those you care about, to society. Unless you have that capability to be a formidable force, then you won't be taken seriously and you can't make the impact that you need to make.